there. I'm Carrie Gatto with Keller Williams Realty, and today on Let's Get Down to Business, I'm interviewing Christine Anastasia, who is the owner of Christine Anastasia Coaching. Nice to meet you, Christine. How are you?
To be here today. Thanks so much, Carrie.
You're very welcome. So let's just get right into it. Can you describe your business for us?
Yeah, so I am the owner and founder of Christine Anastasia Coaching, and basically I have one-on-one coaching and group programs for young working moms that have young kids. Usually they're partnered, they have lots of balls that they're juggling between working full-time or part-time or at home. And I help to sort of support them on their journey during one of the busiest times of their lives.
That's such a great niche. I love that.
Yeah.
Fabulous. What inspired you to start the business?
So it actually came before the pandemic. I was actually furloughed and then laid off from my full-time job. And then in 2019, I was pretty much burning the candle from both ends. And I was working full-time, commuting into Boston from Rentham. So I had about an hour and a half commute with two kids under 3. And I sort of had this like big moment of, what gives? Like, is this what all young working moms do? Like, they just
Yeah.
pack all their bags and are away from their house for 10 hours and they're constantly burned out and exhausted. And I just had this like deep feeling that there had to be a better way. And so when I was furloughed and then laid off, I just started writing, and I was coming up with this plan of thinking like there's got to be something here with the intersection of motherhood and work and raising kids, and a better way forward to really thrive.
Wow, good for you for following that feeling.
Yeah.
And you said you were located in Rentham. Is that still where you're working
Yeah,
at?
I'm in Rentham. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Um, what do you love about your location? And I assume now you're working from home virtually.
Yeah, so I'm virtual. This area is great. There's just so many young working families and community out this way that I find that either like informally or just because I'm also living it and walking the walk right now, that I
Right.
have so much interaction with young moms. So I just see that this is something so needed, not only in this area, but just throughout the country. So
Yeah,
it's a great area to be involved with my business, just because there are a lot of young families here.
very cool. And so how many kids do you have now?
So my oldest is in kindergarten. She'll be first grade next year. I have a 3-year-old and then a 4-month-old that came during the blizzard weekend in January.
Wow,
Yeah.
awesome. How do you stay motivated?
Yeah, so I don't know, this is my life's work. I mean, I feel like the
Yeah.
professional development and being connected to other working moms, it's for me, like there's a lot of different things that I use for tools, but a lot of it is just starting small and like finding ways to, create well-being and create ways that are sustainable paths so you can do all the things. Like I really feel like as a young working mom, I've seen all different iterations. Like I've worked full time, I've done part time, I'm an entrepreneur. Like it's a big dance. And I think like the crux of what I've found is it really comes back to like how you pour into yourself and how you take care of yourself. So that is a big motivator for me. And it's sort of like that shining light even before I do any work.
Yep. Yep. Couldn't agree more. Beautiful. Um, anything that your clients have specifically told you that they particularly love about your services?
Yeah, I would say that most of my clients come away where they've gotten out of the weeds and like that like forest of overwhelm. They find clarity and like the ability to trust themselves again and have more empowered decision making over their life, because frankly like life is short and we only have, you know, a small amount of time where our kids are young and there's all these different phases. And I think that they align their lives better to support them. Like, I think there's so much ongoing conditioning that, we have to be productive, or we have to do this job, or we have to do certain things. And really, in the end, you get to choose. You can peel those layers off, you can reinvent yourself, you can decide to be a new version of yourself. And I think so many moms, even after the first child or the second child, you become a new version, and you might need a new set of circumstances that supports your family. So I love working with clients that are in that messy middle of life and career, and figuring out like that muck.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like you work with moms who are, employed at a job and business owners, right?
Yeah, I mean, a little of both, because I mean, frankly, we're all working moms. Like, whether you're staying at
Right.
home, whether you're part-time, starting a business, like whatever it is, like the list is never ending. And at the end of the day, you're still a mom. So, um, because my experience has been working full time, that's what I can really relate to. But I think a lot of women, even in this pandemic, are in transition. They're trying to figure out, like, what is this formula? And it's something that I also work on day to day. Like, I feel very connected to it, because the formula changes. Like, what might be in this 3 month period might not be in this next year period. So you're always sort of navigating that. And I think that women, they need that support. Like, there's enough
Yeah,
going on at work, there's enough going on with your kids, but it's like, what support do you have?
right. Definitely. And I feel like our generation, or maybe the past two generations, are kind of the first ones that are really balancing full-time work or even being the breadwinner with all the family caretaking as well. So it's just
Yeah, no, it's a really great point that you're bringing up, because some of the women that I work with are sort of like the CEOs of their homes. Like, they are the breadwinners, and they are taking care of so many logistics, but then there's still all the behind the scenes domestic work and household stuff. And some people have the means to pay out for that, and some people don't. And there's just a whole host of things that are really different than our parents' generation. And I think that more women today, and just through this pandemic, people are wanting to find ways to do it a little differently.
mm,
Because, for all intents and purposes, like my mom's generation, like they had a village. Like, they would ask the neighbors, hey, do you want to come over and watch my kids, and we'll trade? And they did it for free. Like, there is no free childcare today. Um, and I think that well-being and taking care of yourself is becoming on the forefront more, because people are finding it's just too much, and they hit
right,
the breaking point.
right. Do you have any funny stories or a tip for working moms or about your own working motherhood?
Um, it's funny, like I was thinking about this question, and I was building this business while I was pregnant with Alexander, like last year. So all throughout the year I was writing and doing all this work, and it just it came to me that, motherhood, like, very much just like aligns with the house of cards of just like work, and like you can't control all the things that come up.
Nope.
And it's, as I'm building this business, like there's challenge, but it's like there's also, I have to like align my mindset with sort of these daily habits, so that I can show up in this life that we have. Because if you're going to work and you're going to have kids, we can all live and struggle, and we can all sort of like sit in that soup for a while, but it's like, this is the circumstances we have. So it's not really funny, it's just more of a real life realization that I've come up with, that it's like, it's all going to be hard. Like, whether you're part-time, like you're not going to find all these other hours, or you're full-time, or whatever it is. It's like there's a little bit of mindset work, and there's a little bit of decisions on how you want to craft your day and your life, to make you feel happier. um, so it's just been kind of like funny for me, because I've been like trying to keep finding what that is. But I think it's like you find it within, when you're at peace with like whatever that formula is, even if it is for that 6 months or that year, and to not be so defined that you have to stay in your job or have to do one thing or the other. Um, I
Yeah.
like to think of it as like small bridges or like small steps to get you where you want to be.
Yeah. There's no golden formula that's just gonna
Right.
be like, oh wow, now it's perfect.
Yeah. So like to me, it's like it hasn't been funny. It's just been alongside like motherhood is challenging, doing full-time work, part-time work at home, like it's all hard. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that's the realization that I think most mothers need to realize, like it's all hard. So it's like let's
Yeah.
just figure out how we can stay present, find some joy, find some ways to like cope and be happy in the moment, which is really hard stuff. Like I think people think that, from the outside or Instagram, things are all shiny, but it's like this is hard stuff that you're
Yeah.
trying to transition and make way for being more at peace or being more like flexible to different things.
Hmm. Fantastic. Great. Well, thank you so much for the work that you're doing to support working mothers and all mothers.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So good. And lastly, can you just share the best way for people to contact you and learn more?
Sure. I share a lot of tips and videos and slides and things on my Instagram account, which is Village Coach Mama. But I also have a website, which is christineanastasia.com. I have a couple different offers this summer and going into fall for one-on-one coaching. My clientele is very busy working moms. So I think the signature one seems to be catching that it's a 30-minute micro coaching session. I usually do those twice a month for 3 months with clients. And then I have a 60-minute one and some group offerings. So all that's on my website. I'm also on LinkedIn as well, all the different platforms. So I'm
Awesome.
really passionate about this work. I'm so glad that I got to connect with you, Carrie, on this, because I think now is like the precise moment when women need this support.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Well, thank you again for your time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Let's Get Down to Business. Take
Thank you.
care.